Hey guys, welcome to the Goob podcast. I'm John Dorsey. We have Ross Flanagan here today. Ross has a major announcement for us. He wanted me to work it up. It's a huge fucking deal. Now, Ross, your birthday was on Monday, which you told absolutely nobody about. And
Yeah, because I'm an adult.
I don't know if you knew this, but your staff circulated an email to everybody that you know, telling them that it was your birthday.
Yeah, I found that out. Yeah, the hard
How,
way.
how'd you find out about that? The hard way, as in somebody said, "Happy fucking birthday." That's the hard way.
Yeah, I said, how the fuck did you know? Oh, Elena spread it all over social media.
Wow. Now, Ross, would you say that's the worst thing that's happened to you this year?
Would I say that?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question, dude. That's all relative, man.
That's really some hardship that you're putting up with. Wow. So flavor
I
game.
don't think I don't think any like nothing bad happens to me. It's all how you kind of look at it.
Amazing. Wow. So what's the announcement?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
This is 100% serious.
Okay.
All right, I'm channeling my inner Nick Walker here. Going to say it out loud to speak it into existence. So I'm prepping for the Indy Pro in 15 weeks, and I guarantee 100% I will place somewhere in that show.
Like first to last, is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So you will show up to the show and you will earn a position somewhere in the lineup. That's your promise to everybody.
Guarantee it. And if your haters want to say, oh, he's not going to place, or he's not. Yeah, suck my dick. I guarantee it.
He's gonna place. Wow, amazing. So you're gonna do open bodybuilding at the Indy Pro. It's 15 weeks away. Are we gonna say goodbye to your hairline again, like we did in 2018?
Dude, I got probably, yeah.
It's when you get really.
Yeah. I got a haircut this past week, and it was just like he had the down light on it, and I'm like, this is sad.
Where
This
it's
is
like
fucking sad.
there's just a few there.
I got fucking burned, dude. So this I go to my good friend Craig. He owns a local salon. It's really fine salon. They do the massage and everything with your hair. It's a really nice experience. I love going there. And at the end, he cut my hair, got shampooed, dried, conditioned, and got sat back down in the chair. And he has like assistants that like help him, whatever. And she goes, oh, I was gonna comb your hair, but you really don't have a lot.
It's fucked up. Yeah, I have a client who he lives in like Malta or somewhere, and apparently it's like real cheap there to do a hair transplant surgery. And like it was fucked up. He sent me pictures and video of it. First off, you're not allowed to sweat for like 3 weeks because if you sweat from your scalp, I guess it like fucks up what's going on. But he literally had he had hair here and no hair here. So they took hair follicles from where he had it and then like inject them all through.
Greg Doucette just got one.
What'd you say?
Greg Doucette just got one.
Oh really? It looked fucking painful as shit. He said it was hours long, over 100 injections, like 8 hours or something of just fucking misery.
Dude, check this. So I know you don't follow him. So his girlfriend has thinning hair. You can't tell she's balding. She has very thin hair. So she they went to Turkey, and he doesn't need one. He didn't need one. So he's like, okay, I will get one too with you just so we can do it together. I don't need one, but just so we're both experiencing the same shit. They book both the appointments, fly out to Turkey, go through the whole process. She gets about to start the treatment, and they tell her she doesn't have enough hair.
So Greg,
so he ends up getting it just randomly.
Bro, they're fucking willy-nilly with that shit. Will Cabarello, the owner of Legendary Labs? He's a good friend of mine. He's got a friend that's a girl. They're not dating. They're just like they've been friends forever. And I guess she booked some surgery out in Turkey to get her fucking something on her face.
You told me this.
They get out there, and it's like they're ready to go. Under the gun. They got the fucking hotel. They've flown to Turkey. They're like in the doctor's office. And they go, oh, you need to pay the remainder of, whatever. It's like $10,000. She paid $5,000 up front for us to start. And so I don't know. You ever travel somewhere you're not supposed to, somewhere you're not supposed to be, but not normally at, and you try to like charge $5,000 in your card to a
They close
sketchy
it down.
Turkish plastic pharmacy place. Yeah, and I guess they shut all of her shit down, and so Will had to like end up covering, and she paid him back, but still, I was like, bro, how the fuck are that you even fly in there and it's not paid for, and they're allowing? I don't know. It seemed just very sketchy and backwards. He said the breakfast at the hotel that they were at though was phenomenal. The coffee looked really good, but it seemed like I was like, bro, why would you? He was gone for like 9 days, and it wasn't a vacation. He was just there to. He's a friend of his, so I understand that. But Ross, if you had a hair transplant and wanted me to wait on your hand and foot for 9 days in Turkey, I would tell you absolutely not.
Nor would I ask you to.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, I'm good.
Or I'd have to be so shit rich or fully loaded with money. I'd have to pay you like 10x the amount of money you make per day to stay
I would
there.
rather sit at home and get paid 10 times less than have to wait on your hand and foot for your Turkish surgery. I don't know. He must just be a really good. They're not dating or anything, too. I asked. It's like, you guys dating? He's like, nah, just a friend of mine. I was like, wow, well, you're a phenomenal person, way better than me. I could not do that, bro. I could not fucking do that. So, what else? This week, on your birthday, you released the birthday cake flavor. Is that right? Or peaches and cream, one of those.
We actually made it a national holiday, so I could swap and celebrate that as opposed to my birthday.
Wow, that is something really bad happened to you on a birthday, Ross.
No, dude, I'm 31 years old.
We'll figure it out one of these days.
I am so anti repetition. Like, if you listen to the same song over and over, you're just like, dude, I fucking hate that song.
You're like, no, I had that pizza 365 days ago. This is way too often for me. I can't eat it again.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
what you're saying.
I've celebrated Christmas 30 fucking years. It's the same shit. It's gonna happen next year and the year after that. It's not exciting.
Wow, you should look into being a Jehovah's Witness.
I know, that's why my mom used to say that to me.
They literally line up with everything that you say. You have to have a pantry full of a year's worth of food in order to be a proper Jehovah's Witness. So you have that. You have to not celebrate any holiday up to it, including Halloween. I don't think birthdays are on the money. I don't think Christmas. And then also, they believe that only 144,000 people go to heaven. And whether or not that's been filled, we don't know. But they still keep.
Here's the thing, John. I like for Elena or her mother, I'll celebrate their birthdays. I just don't want to do anything with mine.
Tell Joe.
Hey, oh really?
No, I think they don't let their kids go to school if it's like a Halloween party. Yeah, there's something wrong with you, bro. What happened? Think back. Is there a birthday where you got cheated?
No, I was telling this to someone else, my partners. I was like, no, I had a great childhood, great birthday parties.
Nobody's listening to this believes you. They're like, he fucking asked for some rock'em sock'em Roblox.
Yeah.
His dad kicked his ass. It's just downhill.
Here's another example. You've eaten oatmeal so much that you fucking can't eat oatmeal anymore.
Okay, but that would be like a daily
shit.
That would be way more than 31 bowls of oatmeal, is all I'm saying.
Everyone celebrates their birthdays. Now it's birthday weeks. Now it's birthday months.
Bill
Burr has a great, I think it's Bill Burr, Patton Oswalt. Every 0 to 18, celebrate your birthdays. Then 21, then 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's it.
But you didn't do shit for your 30th birthday.
No, I didn't.
You're not even living by the Bill Burr logic. You're like sub that.
Yeah, we worked, dude.
Jesus Christ. I'm not. I don't love my birthday at all, but I'll tell somebody it's my.
Why the fuck would you tell someone it's your birthday?
Hey,
it's my birthday, guys.
No. I was texting this asshole all day. Is it your birthday today? Oh, it's Monday. No, Ross, is it your birthday? It's somebody's birthday. Fuck you, Ross. You fucking douche.
You know how many fucking DMs I had to answer? Like, dude, I don't celebrate birthdays.
That is the worst part, though. That because somebody tagged me in something. I don't know how somebody knew, but they tagged me in something, and then all of a sudden, fucking for 2-3 days straight, people just think your birthday. My birthday's, it was like on a weekend, but it was like that whole fucking weekend, it just happened to be everybody thought, oh, it's your birthday today, because I posted a story. Somebody said happy birthday, and I had probably like, I don't know, way too many. It's just like, what do I do? Like reply? I never reply to that shit. You know, the birthday text, like thank you, but
Or
like,
on Christmas or any of these holidays. Okay,
yeah.
everyone in America, everyone knows it's Christmas. Okay,
Is it
and
rude?
everyone, huh?
Is it rude if you don't reply? Because I don't reply, and I don't feel like it's rude. Is it rude if you don't
I think it
reply?
is rude. Yeah, it's rude.
Because I'm like looking at it, I'm like, man, there's a fucking like 100 of these.
Yeah,
Am I gonna write a
I'm
little?
gonna say, see, I don't even wish people happy birthday because I don't want people to wish happy birthday to me. So I don't want to wish you happy birthday, and I don't want you to feel dependent on replying to me.
What if I wish you a Merry Christmas? Would you reply?
No, because I can open up my phone and every fucking follower is posting Merry Christmas. Everyone knows it's Christmas. Why do you have to post it?
I agree with you. I think somebody's gonna disagree with this, but I mean, if I got 5 messages that were like "Merry Christmas," I'd probably reply to 5. But if it's there's just a lot. Like I dread holidays that are public, just because people are gonna send you. Like I like it. Like I like reading it and be like, oh, cool. Like that person was thinking whatever, and like clicking the little. What are they? On iPhone where you double click it, a tap back. I think it's called. You put like a heart on it or like a thumbs up, or thumbs down.
Haha.
Yeah, haha. I like that. You know, I saw it. Thank you. But some people, they're writing a fucking novel, and I'm like, I love it. It's cool. I'll read it. But the energy, I don't have the energy to do it
While we're
back.
on this topic, same with gifts. Don't fucking buy me shit. Okay. Don't buy me shit. If you're gonna buy me something, last gifts I got, Elena has never bought me anything in our relationship. Never. One thing. Someone got us coffee mugs that I use, so that's a good gift. An employee got us. I love this gift. It's actually last birthday. She got us a Polaroid picture of a video we did, and it was with me and Elena. It looks super cool. It's like old black and white. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Like
give me something that's gonna like, dude, I'm not gonna fucking use this.
yeah, I'm the same way.
And then every time you see me, you're gonna ask me about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I want something, if I've ever wanted something, I already fucking have it. And if
Or you're
if
gonna
you're
buy
gonna,
it yourself.
yeah, and I don't. I think that maybe this sounds horrible, but it's like, I don't know. Men maybe are more specific of this, but there's like, you're gonna buy me a camera. There's a fucking camera that I want right now. I've spent way too much time researching the fucking model, the lens, the specs, the whatever, and the chances of you figuring that out without asking me are fucking zero. You know what I mean? There's like way too specific. Like I collect knives, automatic knives, and these are like I would feel bad if somebody bought me one because they're a couple $100 each. And if you buy me one, you probably got the wrong one to begin with. So like, maybe just say happy birthday. I don't know. I tell that to my girl. I'm like, don't get me.
It's like here's an example. Probably why I hate presents. Like,
wait, we're about to dig into the childhood here. Let's.
it's not a specific example, but the same sort of thing. Like my mom, her or relatives would ask my mom, "Oh, what is Ross like?" And then my mom would be like, "Oh, he loves music." And then I get a bunch of CDs for Hanukkah, and it's like country music. I'm like, what the fuck? Now every time I see you, they say, how's the country music CD I got you? Oh, it's great.
The Luke Bryan single-handedly ruined birthdays and holidays for Ross Flanagan. We got
clothes. I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to wear this knit wool sweater.
Growing up, we had this aunt. I have this aunt. Her name's Sheila. And I don't know why, but every fucking year she would get me and my brother clothes in wildly inappropriate sizes. Whether it be like obviously way too small for us to wear, like if we were like 13, like something that would fit a 5-year-old, or like if we were like 12 or 10 or whatever, like a 3X, like a fucking. I don't know why she would do it. It's like she did it on purpose. Every fucking year, something just wildly inappropriate that didn't fit. And I still to this day have no idea. I don't think I've talked to her in 5 or 6 years. Maybe that has something to do with it.
All right, one last story and then we'll switch subjects. So this was like 3 years ago. Elena's family's awesome. Her aunts bought me a sweatshirt. Okay. I didn't know they bought me one. Okay. So then we see them.
How gifts work, Ross. Oh, you mean like
no.
it was given to you and you didn't know it was from them?
No. They bought me one. Okay. They send it. That I never see it. I never hear about it. Nothing. So I see them like later in the year, and they ask me how was the sweatshirt, and I go, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they send me a picture. They show me a picture of what they bought me, and I'm like, that's Elena's sweatshirt. And she goes, no, this was yours. We bought it for you. Elena has been wearing my sweatshirt as a gift the whole entire year.
Wow. Did you take it back?
No, she still wears it.
Yeah, the part of that relationship thing is you just automatically, whether you want to do it or not, you surrender anything and everything in your wardrobe. And it doesn't work two ways, which is, kind of fucked up. Because I would, you can't go and wear a pair of Elena's pants. You can't throw on her tank top and leave the house. It just doesn't, but it's not comfortable. It doesn't work both ways. It's kind of fucked up. That's really the crux of this issue here. Terrible. Anyway, we got some other shit to talk about that's way more interesting than why Ross doesn't like his fucking birthday.
I don't know. I think people will like that.
They're just gonna.
Oh, this explains why he's a fucking crazy asshole.
Till next year, Monday, it was January 24th. They're going to camp your fucking inbox. I'm gonna make 6 accounts. I'm gonna send you heartfelt birthday messages and demand a reply. I'm gonna be like, Ross, no, I'm that customer that comes in all the time and orders the fucking keto muffins once a week. Don't you remember me? Oh my fucking god, I just remembered something. For fucking probably, and this is why I know Elena is a super nice person, by the way. I have randomly, in random intervals, just gotten bored and called the Gaines Bakery. And it's always Elena that picks up. And every single time I'm like, hi, do you have pudding skins? And instead of hanging up, she will walk me through what exactly it is that I want and try to offer me help. She has no idea it's me. I fucking block my number. And she's like, well, we don't do pudding or anything, but we have. And she'll say, we have. Like, no, the skin of the pudding. As for muffin tops, pudding skins, do you have garnish? She's like, oh, no, we don't do that, but there's another place. Like, always a recommendation, never just hanging up. I'm like, wow. And then I look at the Yelp reviews you guys sometimes get. Say that. And I'm like, wow, this is all Ross. Has to be
it's
Ross.
Not, dude, it's not.
Who is it?
It's Elena. She will admit it. It's always the girl behind the counter. The girl, not the owner, the girl behind the counter.
The girl behind she's the only girl that works there.
Well, not now, but yeah, she for a long time. And that's funny you say that because you said how nice she was. Imagine how shitty that customer
You'd have to be a fucking absolute retard. Because I literally was a retard. I called and I said, do you have muffin tops? And she's like giggles a little bit. She's like, well, we can sell you a whole muffin. Like, no, I just want the top. And she said, well, if you really want to, I could separate it for you.
Dude, she's so desensitized. The shit she tells me, because I don't work there anymore, the shit she tells me all the time, it's just so bad, dude. One person asked if our food has calories in it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
They know.
You go on
no calories. No calories. Yeah, your reviews are fucking hilarious. Because I'm reading them and I'm like, Ross absolutely did this. Like, whatever it is, whatever they're saying, he did it. And
there's not one bad review about me on there. Trust me.
No, bro. I'll pull it up for the next podcast, but
because they think Ray is me too.
Really?
Yeah, I never worked the front. I would always work the back, and then when I would do work the front, dude, the most asshole-ish customers, like bougie ass customers, ask about the whole entire menu and then just walk out. They don't order anything.
Oh god, waste of time. Fucking idiots. Anyway, so as we were saying, we were going to talk about coaching working. We can kind of boil it down to 3 things that need to be there in order for your relationship with your coach or your relationship with your client to be successful. And we got it down to these 3. And there's other shit involved, but I think these 3 are kind of a good cornerstone. 1, the client that's hiring you, you have a bigger knowledge base than they do. 2, you have experience. And 3, they're doing what you say. And it's kind of cool because if you remove any one of those 3, the knowledge, the experience, and the client doing what you say, you can have all the knowledge in the world, you can have all the experience, and they don't do what the fuck you say, it's not going to work. They can do what you say. You can have experience but no knowledge, and it's
It's not gonna
fucked.
work.
And then we see this a lot. You have the knowledge, they're doing what you say, and
But
you
you've
don't
never been
have
there.
experience. And sometimes that can work, but it's not foolproof because there's things that they're going to encounter that have not been strapped in the driver's seat doing. I do think there's probably some coaches out there that have done this enough and they've you fucked it up in the beginning because you didn't have that driver experience. But for the most part, that's also a failing equation because they don't know what it's like to be there, especially that. Go ahead, Russ. Go ahead.
So this is great because this literally just happened to me this week with Jacob. You just posed him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I told him so he's been experiencing a gut issue. I have lots of experience with gut issues. I live with them. What he was experiencing, I told him I have never experienced this myself or with a client. I have no idea about this. I recommend these three things. It was, let's get your blood work done. Because there was another issue I was worried about. Let's go see a doctor in a couple of days. But I'm just going to use my gut here and intuition. So I asked him what he's eating, and there's a difference between what your plan says and what you actually eat. Okay, you know this.
Yeah, of course.
And rarely you'll hear a reply, dude, I'm literally eating every single thing that's on the plan. Nothing
Well,
else.
it's usually, there's this sauce I've been doing, and did you look at the fucking back of it? No.
Yeah.
Or there's this weird seasoning that I didn't realize is full of fucking sugar. Weird
Yeah.
little shit like that is what you're talking about. Oh, a drink that I didn't realize wasn't calorie free that I've been drinking like there's no tomorrow. There's
Yeah, or I've been drinking nothing but bangs and Mio, whatever.
Diet A&W root beer for my.
So his diet, because of his work schedule, he was eating a lot of egg whites / eggs, grits, because we were just trying to push the calories without adding a lot of food volume, and chicken. I was like, okay, we're gonna take out chicken, grits, and all corn products, and all your eggs. He wasn't having any bowel movement issues or irritation. He was having like legit stomach pains. So I was like, we're gonna try this. We're gonna cut back your calories by 50%, and you're gonna report back to me tomorrow. Replace all those 3 items with something else. He did it. Reported back, dude, I have no fucking pain. We did it again, and we increased the calories 25%, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So now we're thinking it's egg whites, eggs. He's got some sort of allergy. In this scenario, we've determined that it's one of those 3 factors, which I had no knowledge, but I knew of my, experience working with other things.
You're describing an elimination diet. Me and you both share a mutual client, Nick, who has Crohn's, and that's really the only way we could get. I mean, that's what I told him years ago to figure out, what works for him. He found out it was some weird food. He's like, yeah, it doesn't give me flare up. It's like cinnamon rolls or something. I was like, that makes
processed crap. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. He did an elimination diet, and he would have the super basic base diet, and he'd add one variable to it and see what the fuck happened. And I don't know if it's, maybe it was good fortune on his behalf or just wishful thinking, but he swore up and down that cinnamon rolls did not flare up his IBS and Crohn's, and more power to him. He got real fucking shredded. He did really well at a show, so that was awesome. But you're describing the experience and knowledge base to figure out the problem. And had you never had somebody say the same thing to you, maybe you would have never got there. Maybe you would have. I think experience comes into play a lot too with like setting clients' expectations for what a show day looks like and what that week looks like. If you've never done it, you don't understand. You're going to land on Wednesday or Thursday. You're going to have to worry about like your tan, going to this, going to that, checking in. You're going to know that it says the show starts at 9 a.m., but I'm in classic physique, so maybe I'm not on stage until 1 p.m., or if I'm behind bikini, I'm on at 3. Just like these little things that a first-time coach with no experience that's just put it up there, I'll take competitors and anybody who will give me money, you're probably going to fall flat on your face a few times because it's the blind leading the blind, and maybe the guy that's at the venue has a better chance of just figuring it out on his own. So that's...
There's a great saying. It's something along the lines like, to be wise or to acquire wisdom, you got to do a lot of shit. And the concept of experience, to know what to do, you have to experience what not to do.
Yeah, me and you have
You know
both
what I mean?
sucked at shows
Yeah,
before. You've sucked.
yeah.
I've
So
sucked.
like I know, and I'm gonna guess that we have the same philosophies of show day, and it's basically not doing a lot of things.
I went you ready
Like
2 weeks before, and
yeah, and not pumping up for 4 hours backstage. We know
and
that because we've
you know
we've done
what?
it.
I've done that, and you go flat, and you're exhausted and sweating and terrible. So
Yep,
timing the pump—that's a thing you wouldn't ever fucking think about if you'd never done it before or fucked it up
yep,
before. And
yep.
you wouldn't. I kind of tell my guys how to figure out where you're going to be at in the class. I tell them, count the number of competitors, whatever, before you, etc. So you can get it down to like a 15-minute window so they know when to start pumping. It's just shit that you're not going to know unless you're hiring someone that's been to a ton of shows or been in a ton of shows or done a lot of this. And experience doesn't mean you've just been on stage a million times. It means you've been doing this with other people. You're there in person. You fly out to the things. You go. James Aoki, Team Atlas. That man, it's like he doesn't even live at his house. I swear to God, during competition season, every fucking weekend, he's literally flying from one end of the world to the other to go be super hands on with his chicks. He has millions of photos of just him there in person in the hotel with a big team of girls. Like, he doesn't fucking miss. And it's just because he's been there, seeing it in person enough. He's not guessing from across the world. I would love to be able to go to everybody's show, but it's not super feasible. But that man makes it a fucking priority to be there for probably every girl he puts on stage, which is insane. But anyway, the pillars. The biggest one here that I think most people get fucked on is just they don't do what you say. Number three, they have to do what you say. You can give them the best advice, you can have all the experience, but there's this misinterpretation. You got to get on the same page. People are afraid to ask questions. You get that all the time, or do your people don't?
I get the opposite. I get people are afraid to ask questions when they should, and then the inverse happens. They ask questions when they should not be asking questions.
Yeah, I get the same. It's like they're either a loose cannon with just retard drivel, or they will not ask a question that is super pertinent. And I would rather filter through the stupid questions and whatever and answer those and be okay with it, and also get the good questions. But I always get so frustrated when you have to dig out like good questions.
Questions.
Yeah, I don't want to have to
Yep.
dig it out from you. I put it in my like intake too, and I said it to him like, hey, you're paying me a lot of money a month to answer your shit. Please ask what confuses you before you do it, especially if they're in prep, because it's my name on them too, and it's you're on stage, by the way. It's gonna be
People
you
are
in a
looking at you.
bikini. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you're gonna be embarrassed if you fuck this up. That type of thing. Damn. Yeah, I hate that. My biggest pet peeve is when people don't film stuff. By the way, that's my like recurring pet peeve. I
Hey, at every check-in, I need you to fill in your top sets. Next check-in, they don't send me anything.
I hate when they ignore it. Like, 'cause
Yeah,
it's
or I'm too self-conscious to film myself. I'm like, dude, this is a requirement. There's multiple reasons why I need to see how you're lifting.
I got that from somebody and I replied, you wake up every Saturday morning and send 4 photos in a bikini to another man. How self conscious can you possibly be? I got videos next week. I had one.
Well, let's just think about this. The reality is when people go to the gym, whether you're fat, you have no idea what you're doing, or you're filming yourself, there's something subconsciously with the self-esteem and the confidence. Like people that are feeling those feelings think that everyone's looking at them and judging them. I don't think that's the case at
No.
all. Like I've never gone to the gym and looked at a fat person and like made fun of them. Like
The only time I start
doesn't happen.
remembering people is if they're like the gym characters, like the same guys. Like there's probably 6 people if I said, think of the guys in my gym that I could think off the top of my head, and it's because they're always there the same fucking time I am, on a recurring basis. But I would not directly think about some super obese person that joined this week. Like I don't remember. Maybe one did. I don't know. I can think of a few if I think really hard, but I don't know where the fuck they were when they were. You're not thinking about that. You're thinking about what the fuck am I here to do? I think that's a pretty regular thought for most people in the gym. It's not this very scary, judgmental place. It's the place to get better. I'm self conscious. God. I had a guy who told me and this is super fucked up. He told me he wasn't allowed to film in his gym. The rules of his gym were he wasn't allowed to film, but he would post upper body day videos all the time, and he had these tiny little like twig legs. And I was like, you're not allowed to film on leg day or what? Like, what's going on? He's like videos of him benching like 285 for reps, and I'm like, bro, just like tell me you're not doing legs. Like, I'd rather you tell me that than post this shit and like just blatantly lie to me. I hate when people like. I would rather hear bad news than be lied to with good news.
Yup. Happened this fucking week. Someone was like, dude, I've been following everything your T. I'm so motivated. This is my goal is to blah, blah, blah this year. And then I started digging. I started this conversation like 3 weeks before with them. I was like, last prep, did you do everything that I told you to do? He goes, yeah, of course, of course. And then flash forward, I still have this internal feeling. And I asked him, where is your so-and-so? And he goes, what do you mean? I go, it's in your plan, dude.
Oh boy.
Caught right there.
I hate that too, where they're like, oh, I'm going to really give it 100% now. Like, that means you need to now, like, if they ever say that, you need to now tell me what it was you didn't do before that was 100%.
Right.
Oh, no, I was. Like, nope, because you can recognize a market difference. And I can too, because you weren't as fat-free as you should have been. God. As long as we're bitching, can I bitch about something?
Of course, dude.
This came up this week, and I want to know what you would say. So, what fucking month is it? It's January. Some guy contacted me last February in DMs. Hey, I'm looking for a coach, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to get, I'm blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Tell me about this, this, and this. Okay, tell him my spiel. This is what I do, take it or leave it. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking to get started up in June. So, all right. I'm like, okay, contact me in June then. June comes around. Same deal. He goes, yeah, I'm really looking to get started in the near future here, blah, 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 blah. I need to know this, that, and the other. Tell him the exact same thing I told him before. He doesn't even reply this time. The third time, recently, he emails me. He sends me an email. I should pull this up, and whatever you say, I should just reply to him right now. But he sends me an email about what do I need to do to get started, and I say the same thing I said before. You need to send photos, fill out an intake, and pay me. Here's a link to all that shit. So he sends photos, and then he asks all these questions, and I just reply, you need to pay me still. And he replies, oh, I'm looking to get started late February.
Oh my God.
Why? I've now communicated with you at least 6 fucking times. And you're just going to keep telling me you're going to hire me in the future. Just contact me then. You don't have to talk to me now. I'm ready when you're ready. What the fuck is going on? Let me see if I can pull up this email. I was so annoyed about it. I was so fucking annoyed about it. Tell me your thoughts on it though, Ross.
Just fucking commit, dude. And if you don't have the money, then you can't afford coaching.
But bro, he's getting ready. I think he said February. Something about February.
There's no good time for anything.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, you're not gonna have perfect everything.
Oh, he wanted to. Yeah, we talked a few months back. I'm getting in touch again. And he's like, what do I do? I want to do an August show, he says. And he sends me pictures. And I'm like, I literally reply, like, he sends me pictures. August is lofty goal there as far as just, he's behind. And I say this. I said, you have to start this week if you want to do August. And he goes, I was starting last week of February. Like, why would you keep talking to me like this? Like, do you just want free information? Like, what the fuck is going on? I had a weird guy hire me or try to hire me once too. He did the same weird shit where he goes, I was like, no, you have to pay me, send photos, whatever. And he goes, I'm cool with sending photos in the intake, but payment I'd like to wait until after I see what your plans are for me. And I just replied, LOL. Like, that's
funny,
nice.
like.
Ross, I'll pay you for this hamburger, but After I eat it, I'll let you know what I think
Or
about it.
financial advisor, um, I'm going to pay you only after you tell me what you're going to do.
Yeah,
Well, sir, I'm either going to make you money or lose money for you.
give me your
Oh,
strategy, and then I'll tell you if it's worth it or not. No, fucking idiots. I hate shit like that. If you're gonna email me, be ready like right fucking now. Don't email me and say I'm gonna start a couple weeks from now, and then I'll pay. You can pay me now and start a couple weeks from now if you want to, but I'm building a roster. It's not. I'm gonna say, all right, I'm gonna mark my calendar for the end of February. When I told you you're not competing in the show unless you start this week. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
all right. What's next? What's next? What you got?
This is well, I was just on the Gifted podcast with Kuza and the Squat Father and Paul, their boy Paul, and the whole reason they invited me on the podcast was to talk about me getting canceled for making fun of fat chicks and all that. Is the Puerto Rico story where I posted the thing about this girl's like 350 pounds, she can't walk a mile, she's throwing up. Health at every size is probably a bad idea, guys. And that was just enough to take my whole life away from me. They were trying to do. There was somebody trying to figure out where I lived, like saying death threats to me. It's really funny. But they wanted to talk about that. And one thing we didn't get to was something me and you talked about the other day, which I've noticed is a trend. And if you think hard enough about what you've seen on Instagram, you'll probably agree. And maybe you didn't think about it this way because you're not a fuck up like either of us. But how often have you been on Instagram? You come across an account of a very morbidly obese woman. It's never a man, by the way. There's one I can think of, a guy who runs like 5Ks or something. Very morbidly obese woman. She's got all the fucking brand deals, all the fucking leggings, all the whatever. And you can look back 4 years or more of history on her account, and she looks exactly the same or in worse condition, fitness-wise, as she was back then. And you start to wonder, is she wearing the leggings and hosting a fitness account merely to avoid criticism? Is this a way of saying, oh no, look? Because if I posted that shit and I said, look at this fucking girl, they'll say, but look, she's got a video of one set of her doing a glute kickback, whatever the fuck they call it. She's doing a squat there, a bodyweight squat. But for 4 years she's been doing that and posting this and hasn't improved. Is this a way to insulate from criticism? What do you think, Russ?
Well, I need to sort of backtrack here to understand this whole thing. The reason why this is an issue, in my opinion, is the new concept of inclusiveness, where they don't want to change anything. They don't want to do anything, but they want to be included in the people that do things. Like the people that are rich and successful, they're excluded from everyone that is not rich or doesn't have money because they do things that the people that don't have money do.
Well,
So
my argument is they don't want to be included at all. The purpose for them making the thing is so that people will defend them for their poor habits and say, oh, well, they're doing something about it. Even though there's 4 years of proof that they're not doing something about it, because in 4 years, any human being can drastically transform their body if they're just overweight or morbidly obese.
that's it. I disagree with you, but for that same point, they want to not do anything for 4 years, but they want to be included in the health movement without doing anything.
Yeah, well, they don't care about their health, though. And if it wasn't the health movement, if it was
Yeah.
something else, it's just they don't want to be criticized anymore. And they also understand that they're unhealthy, so they do want to be included in the health movement, but for the wrong reasons. It's like let me just hide in the weeds here, and I'll be okay. And if somebody says something about me, I can cancel them on the internet, even though at 54 I'm gonna have a heart attack. It doesn't.
They're becoming one of the untouchables. You can't criticize them. You can't even tell them the truth.
They
Like,
got that Cosmo article that's going around. My uncle actually tagged me in it, which I thought was funny because I didn't know he looks at my shit. But it's Cosmo, and there's, I mean, I probably couldn't overhead press this woman for very many reps. She's very big, whole cover, and it's an 8.5 by 11, very big cover. She's almost every square inch of it, and it says, "This is healthy." That's the tagline.
Yeah.
This is healthy. And it's like, goddamn, it's definitely not healthy. Like you can't just put the word "this is healthy" underneath it. It's like me putting a thing under your hair falling out bodybuilding photo that I have. This is beauty. It's not beautiful.
Or
You look.
this is bountiful.
This is health. It's not. You felt terrible. You had no body fat. Your hair was falling out. All sorts of shit was fucked up on you. You weren't happy, but you were there to win, and you understood it wasn't healthy. Me putting
Yeah.
this is healthy in the pursuit of health underneath that photograph wouldn't have changed the situation. That's what they're trying to do, and I think that's fucking fucked up.
Now, this is a little tangent, and I'm not even agreeing with this statement, but just for the sake of conversation. Let's take an NFL lineman. Okay. Statistically, they're obese, right?
Yeah,
They're overweight, they're overfat,
for sure.
but they do a lot of healthy things.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they probably eat an okay diet, because they have to perform. So high protein, it's abundance in calories, but they're definitely eating for performance and fuel, recovery, muscle building. They do a bunch of cardiovascular activity. They drink a fuckload of water. They rehab, they rest, they recover. Now they're still fat.
Well,
Is
there's
that
another difference. I mean, these guys are fucking 6'3". Most of them linemen are really fucking tall. They're probably carrying the same weight as some of these chicks in these covers who are 5'4". It's a huge fucking variable, a huge difference. I mean, to some degree, your heart recognizes 300 as 300 as 300, muscle, fat, whatever. But somebody who's 6'4", a professional athlete, running 40s all the time and blocking defenders, probably a little
Dude,
more.
I don't know. I'm going to argue this one. Okay. So take myself. Right this morning, I weighed 261. What I'm doing in my hobby is not healthy,
Yeah. Would
but
you
I look
tell,
dramatically.
would you tell somebody though? You'd be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't criticize bodybuilding. You can't criticize the steroids. You can't criticize anything because I am healthy. And they'll be like, well, let me see your blood work. And you're like, well, all those red markers and stuff. Don't worry about it because I'm healthy because I say I'm healthy. No, you'd say this is
No,
this is
no, I would say I do a lot of unhealthy things.
yeah.
My goals are not healthy though.
No.
I monitor my blood work. Everything comes back in healthy ranges, and anything that is not in ranges, we fix them. I wouldn't say what I'm doing is healthy though, but I would consider I don't know, would I be considered healthy?
No, you know what cracks me up though? So let's talk about bodybuilders. And you should be doing this. If you get anything out of this podcast, get your fucking blood work done. Go look at it, and if you don't know what you're looking at, send it to somebody who does. We do blood work all the time. Ross, why do we do blood work? What's the purpose?
Um, I mean, there's lots of purposes.
We're engaging in an unhealthy hobby, and we
Yeah,
want to make sure that we correct the damage we do, right?
you want to mitigate the risk.
Correct.
And there's also, I wouldn't say like buffer zones, but there are ranges of things that are quote unquote acceptable
Correct.
for the risks that we're doing.
Yeah, you're like, well, this is good enough for right now. We're not in a danger zone, so we can push. So I see all the time in these health at every size posts, whatever. My doctor says I'm blah 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 blah. There are no people that go to the doctor more than these fucking health at every size, perfectly healthy, nothing wrong with them fucking people. In and out of the doctor all the time. I haven't been to a doctor in 10 fucking years. I get my blood work done by an independent lab once a year, twice a year. But these motherfuckers go. It sounds like from what they say, they're either making it up and they don't go to the doctor and nobody's telling them healthy, or they go for a checkup all the time for all the fucking ailments that they're having due to the conditions that they've given themselves. And I think it's just funny that bodybuilders do this and have a lot of health problems and mitigate it through blood work and stuff, and openly admit that yes, this isn't totally healthy. And health at every size, in the morbid obese and pro-obesity
Well,
community, they won't. They'll scream to the top of their fucking lungs that everything is totally healthy and fine. And
yeah.
so,
I mean, you can be happy eating hot dogs for breakfast, right?
yeah,
But you can't tell me that that's healthy.
yeah, no, not at
Like
all.
healthy, that is a little bit of a objective measure. You
Yeah,
can measure your health. I had last year I had a lady who had a lot of success with me, and thank God she's kept a lot of it off the weight. There was one point where we were dealing with some hormone issues, and her doctor refused to give her blood work.
Why?
I knew this was going to happen. You're going to love this answer. The doctor said, "Well, you're the healthiest client I've seen all week. You don't need your blood work.
You're the healthiest client I've seen. I'm a doctor that sees
patient.
unhealthy people all the time. And you're
therefore, you don't need to know what your blood work says because you're the healthiest."
Wow. That's really pathetic. Who was the doctor?
Oh, I don't know. She also wanted to put her on pharmaceutical antidepressants and
awesome.
And appetite suppressant.
No blood work, but let's get some SSRIs and appetite suppressants in there. Fucking pathetic, man. Fucking pathetic. All right, well, let's shift and talk about unchallenged fitness tips. This is Ross's. I would say Ross does a lot of bitching during the week, and I'd say I probably hear a lot of the bitching from Ross. She's just in my inbox every couple of hours complaining about something. Usually he's just sending a video without context, and I have to be like, "What is this?"
Whoa, dude!
And if I do it,
oh my god!
He will send a video with no fucking context, and I'm like, "What is this?" And if I do it, God forbid I do it, it's the end of the fucking world. Fucked up.
You are the king of doing this. You just send something with no context. I'm like, what the fuck are you sending? Look at his hair. I'm like, I don't fucking care about his hair.
Oh, fuck
okay,
off.
So unchallenged fitness tips. What do I mean by that? When someone on Instagram or Facebook puts out a claim like tips on building hamstrings, and they're like, to engage your hamstrings, you need to move your big toe to your left. That'll open up the hips and engage your biceps femoris. And everyone in the comments section like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. It sounds great. I'm like, let's take a step back and think about what you're saying. How the fuck is your big toe connected to your hamstring? Or, just one of those examples.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of if you ever watch like a documentary on a cult, and everybody, it's like years later, and they dedicated their whole life to something, and they're like, yeah, this guy was just kind of a fucking idiot and just like told you stuff, and you guys all believed it for a really long time, and it built over time. And so he had like 5 people that he gave all this information to, and they all bought it. And then if it was ever checked, instead of just checking a legitimate source, they'd be like, yeah, go ask Rodney. Rodney was one of his core 5. Yeah, Rodney confirmed it, so it's good. And that's how fitness happens now. Like, nobody actually thinks with their brains about it. They're like, well, there's this TikTok page I found, and they posted on there, and then I saw it posted on Instagram, so I'm going to take this as God's fucking word, but maybe they're both idiots. That's something you should consider.
Remember the movie Game Changers about the plant-based diet?
Yeah.
So they had so many fallacies of reasoning with their claims.
Of course.
One of them was like they took a guy, a world's strongest man or a Olympic lifter that had world records, and they said, look, he doesn't eat meat and he breaks world records. Here's one example. And then no one's took a step back and said, but what about the other 9 million of them eating steak?
Yeah, most of them eating steak.
Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, we cherry-picked one example of greatness, and he would probably have done this in terms of any other variable, but the general consensus being something different, we're just not gonna mention that right now. I don't know, man. I get so irritated seeing it's just like these videos after videos of videos. I made a post about it last night, and the post was literally, I've never met somebody with a small back and a big deadlift. And I don't mean specifically only go do deadlifts, but god damn, people, if you're strong on the core lifts, bench, squat, deadlift, you're probably not a small person. And there's people that will go and spend 25-30 minutes setting up some dick shit, stupid ass row they saw on TikTok or YouTube or something, and the guy that's doing it is weak. So what do you think you're gonna get out of this?
They're taking one like this is me standing up, okay? And their fitness tip is them building a contraption that's a chair that props your butt up to make you stand up on a chair. Like, why don't you just stand up?
I sent you one the other day, and the guy's like, "Well, this isn't chest supported, but it'll do." And he's got a bench there that could have done chest. Like it just. Like, what do you mean you're sitting on the fucking bench that could do what you're saying you want to do? You spent how long fucking setting this shit up?
My favorite, and I've ranted about this on my Instagram, is when people sit backwards in the lat pull down machine. The legs aren't in the
worst part of that is if you're not weak, you're going to pull yourself up.
Yeah. And then the bar doesn't change. No matter what you're doing, it's still right here.
It's the same path.
You're not changing anything.
Yeah, you're just now you have to pack something on your legs or have your training partner sit in your fucking lap to do your goddamn.
Hold you down.
Maybe that's the whole point, to have your training partner. It's like a little smooth move, like, oh, sit on my lap now, so I can do reverse rip lat pull downs. I don't know. I think being contrarian is super popular right now, where people feel like. And maybe there's some truth to this. It's super saturated. I can type in bench press and I'll find 8 million videos that are posted in the last however long. But if you post something that's just the super confusing, evolved setup of something, there's going to be 8 nerds arguing in the comments about how it's optimal or not, and you're going to get a lot of interaction from that, and the algorithm's going to go, whoa, something's cool here, and put you on a page. Where a bench press is. People will be like, oh, nice, strong, oh, cool. But the other thing, it's got arguments and drama behind it. And there's a bunch of guys doing that right now where they're running TikToks and shit and literally arguing with 12-year-olds that'll never buy anything from them about God knows what.
Dude, okay. So my philosophy on lots of things is, now I tell people basically to never do the things that I've done. So back in the day when I was like 18, 19, 20, 21, I would lift how we are talking right now. Okay. I would make up shit. I try to do like these crazy things to confuse the muscle, all these gimmicky shit.
Muscle confusion, yeah.
My back workout yesterday, was seated cable rows, then T-bar rows, and then single arm rows, and then deadlifts.
Yeah, I did chest yesterday. I did dumbbell incline, I did flat bench, I did chest flies, and then I did an incline pressing machine. And then I went home. Like, crazy.
So sexy, that's why.
What'd you say?
It's not sexy, dude. Like, I see these younger kids at the gym, and they're doing like these like fancy schmancy leg workouts and crazy rep schemes. I'm like, dude, just train your fucking ass off. Full range of motion.
Bodybuilding is supposed to be boring. That's really the fucking point of it. It's like there's
over and over and over.
Fucking World of Warcraft. It's RuneScape in real life. You just sit there and click and mine the fucking rune and go back to the fucking bank and then go do it again until you got enough money and you can go win a show. That's all it is. It's not some fucking... There's no secret to it. It's just the amount of time that you put into it is what you get out of it. And you can increase that time by doing things the wrong way. Or you can decrease that time by hiring a coach or figuring it out yourself or whatever. Those are the variables.
I've wasted so much time on a coach.
Yeah, hire a coach, get there faster. Don't hire a coach, get there a little slower. Do retard TikTok shit and never get there and get made fun of for wearing a size medium shirt the rest of your fucking life.
Dude, okay, one last point on this and then we can move on. And I've sent you multiple things of these videos. When someone on Instagram makes a claim, like, do you want a big back? Do this. Or do you want big hamstrings, massive arms? And I'm like, yeah, I want massive arms. And then I'm looking at the person doing it, and I'm like,
there's one guy, I can't remember his name, but he's in particular always posting these weird videos like that. And he literally looks like a cashier at Target. Like, I don't know if I could pick him out of a lineup of 10 random people. If you're like, which one of these is a bodybuilder? It wouldn't, even if they're all in t-shirts, they could all be naked, and I would never figure out that he was the one. It would never happen. But he's got all these videos about doing things the optimal way, blah, 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 and he's posting videos of him doing it. So it's not like he's, one of those, there's some fat coaches out there that used to compete and whatever, and, fucking...
Yeah, he's actually doing it.
Hani Rambod ain't in shape right now, but he was at some point. We could look at a ton of guys. Chris Aceto, he was in shape at one point. He's not doing that shit right now. But if Chris Aceto's posting some wild shit, we can at least look back and say, oh, it worked for him at one point. But this guy, it's the point where it should be working for him, and it's not.
It's like, dude, you want to know how to make six figures in a month?
Yeah, I'll tell you from the trailer park. Like, oh, damn. That's the big fucking thing right now, bro. NFTs and all that shit. This one kid, he went to hire me, and he's always posting this NFT stuff, talking about he's making all this money, blah, 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 posting all these cars. And he goes, yeah, I want to, can I get my old rate? And I'm like, bro, you're telling everybody.
Made all this money.
Yeah, you're a millionaire. We're living it up, boy. I'm double charging you. It's everybody. They're fucking millionaire advice from the trailer park. It's fucking insane, bro. It's fucking insane. I don't understand how that all popped off or what's going on with that, but it's quickly, very obviously turning into a scam for a bunch of dumb people.
Well, it's just gambling, right? Like you're buying something, marking up the price, and then selling it. That's with like the Bitcoin.
Well, it's like, the way I understand it is somebody makes a collection of stuff, and then they put a price on all the fucking thing, and it's like Pokemon.
Then people buy it, jacks up the price.
There's 100 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they all buy them, and then they're like, "Oh, well, we sold one to my friend," and this is how they do it, I guess. They're like, "Well, I sold one to my friend for $35,000, but that wasn't in earnest. That was, to make it look big. Oh, well, that one's worth $35,000, so." The other ones must be at least somewhere close to that. I can get $3,000 for this one. Look, that one sold for $35,000. But you don't know you're getting conned. Nothing's worth. None of them are worth anything. Somebody sold it to their bro so that the collection looked like it was important, and now you're all getting hosed. And they're posting their screenshots. Look how much it increased today. Like, all right, go try to get out of that, and let me know if anybody buys it back from you.
I don't get it.
I don't understand either, bro. Maybe we'll look real stupid in 5 years, but I think this is going to be a pet rock collection type of thing, where nothing good comes of it at all.
I was telling Elena this, like I have zero passion in making money, and that's what the NFT is. It's like
same
with Bitcoin. Like you're only doing it just to make money. Like
I got rid of all my Bitcoin. I literally bought a diamond bracelet for myself with it. Because I was like, I will enjoy this way fucking more than... Because a bunch of people paid me. I had a Bitcoin sale and a bunch of people paid me. And my friend's a jeweler and he started taking Bitcoin. And I was like, now I have an avenue to get rid of all this shit. Let me buy a diamond bracelet from you. And so I did that because I would happily rather enjoy that and wear that around my wrist than have to deal with fucking Bitcoin. I don't know, man. I don't care about money. I care about the things it buys, the time it buys me, the freedom it buys you. Just having it means no. If I could get rid of all of it and still live the same way I did, I would happily do that. I don't need it for anything.
Yep, it like doesn't excite me at all. Like I want to make sauces and make little creative things, and hopefully that turns into money. But I don't wake up in the morning and like say I gotta launch this birthday cake and I gotta make $15,000 today. I'm like, that's not my.
You just want people to. I want people to enjoy the.
I just want people to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's all. That's how I am, man. I don't like once having an excess amount of it doesn't mean anything for me. You and me are the same way. Like neither of us grew up with a ton, and we probably have more than a good bit of people now, but it doesn't. Like I have no crave. I could live exactly this way for the rest of my life and be totally happy. I don't have this like crazy. I want to do this. I want to do that. I wish if we could do podcasts and get paid for it and get paid even less than I get right now for coaching. I'd happily do that. I don't. It's just freedom. I want freedom in my life.
I was talking to Elena about Aaron Singerman today, and I was like, well, we're just not going to hear from him a long time. And I was like, I just don't understand it. He was probably worth what, like $50 million at that time, more at that time when he decided to put those things in his products. Let's say 50 million. I'm like, how much did your life improve from 50 million to 600 million? Yeah. And now you did it for what? You're in jail for 20 years.
You can't spend $50 million. You can't spend $600 million. And he bought a $5 million home.
If you let it sit in an account, as you spend that money, the back end will accrue interest, and you're just making that money.
Yeah, you literally in 7 years it's going to double, and if you spend just a little bit less than that, then you're going to be really, really, really okay. I don't know. They just talked about his sentencing, by the way. I read the sentencing proposal from his attorneys. They're asking for 20 months. And do you know what they said? This was
Absolutely
kind
not.
of it was kind of weird the way they went about it in the reply from the police departments and all that. So I guess they're asking for 20 months, and you cite like reasons why this is good, and I do agree with the reasoning. Aaron Singerman started Redcon One and made it a legitimate business. He had Blackstone, and it was a shithole, and they skirted all the rules. And then Redcon One was like he's like, I'm not doing that shit no more. I learned my lesson, and he did it for what, 8 years, 8 years almost, or 6 years or whatever of Redcon One being in the industry, and they're kind of like, do it by the letter type of people. And they donated like 20,000 protein bars to first responders, police, health care, hospitals, nurses, food banks, or whatever in their area. And they were using that as a reason, as like, hey, maybe having Aaron Singerman locked up in jail for 10 years doesn't do the community as well as it does having him out and about. Which, if he's not driving the boat around and running into things, worrying about his 10-year prison sentence, which I think is the reason he did this.
No, he did. He said that.
I can't even begin to sympathize with the man. You have, children. You have successful business. You're wearing a fucking Richard Mille on your wrist. $400,000 or $500,000 watch, and your freedom's about to be taken away. You're not going to wear that watch anymore. You're not going to wake up in a mansion or go to your other mansion. I can't even begin to sympathize with that. I understand why he's driving a boat around totally fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense to me. But they're saying him being in there doesn't do the society any value, but look at the good work he's done while he's out. And the reply from all these police departments and healthcare, whatever, was, well, when we heard about the Blackstone Lab stuff 6 years ago, we returned all of them. This was during COVID and stuff, when, there was like food shortages and food banks were running dry, and nurses are getting run to the fucking hills with mega 16-hour, 20-hour shifts and stuff. And so Redcon donates all this food, food MRE bars and stuff, whatever they call them, to these establishments, and they return them because 6 years ago the guy who produced the bar had a legal snafu. Do you think they're like, Pooh Shiesty comes on and they're like, turn it off, he's in jail, can't listen to it, can't listen to Pooh Shiesty, he's in jail, we can't listen to any of this Kodak Black, turn it off, can't listen to him? Do you think they do that too? Or do you think it was they're full of shit? Do you think they ate the bars?
Full of shit.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. The more I read into it, the more I'm like, damn, Aaron, I feel horrible for you, bro. The more I read into it, they really sensationalized his downfall, but the dude really did turn his shit around. It's not like he was constantly being a prick. I think he was with Blackstone, and they were, super backwards with that. But it seemed like he turned it into an industry that was a powerhouse, and then he's paying for what he did years ago, which he hasn't yet. But what do you think? 20 months or 13 years? I think is the max he's got.
Dude, I don't know about that. I don't know. If they were knowingly doing that, and the issue is if they sold 1 million products with those potentially harmful ingredients, you don't really know how many people were negatively affected about
Well,
by
it
that.
was SARMs. If you wanted it, you sought it out. You wanted the harmful product. Like, that's the hardest part to swallow of this, is they wanted the SARMs. They wanted the harmful product. This is mislabeling prescription, is what they're calling it. They wanted it. That was the result. They delivered on what their customers were desiring. I remember looking at the website, seeing what they had to offer, and you knew what was in there. They named it close enough, so you knew what you're getting. And so who's really harmed here? The FDA having their rules violated? Is that worth 13 years of an entrepreneur's life? Or, maybe 6 months of, I don't know, time in and community service and restitution for whatever the fuck. I don't know, man.
I don't know. If Aaron Singerman was a black transgender, though, he would have been celebrated for it.
Okay, Ross, thank you for that. Thank you for that tidbit that has nothing to do with anything. Anyway, all
I
right.
think it does.
We're going to talk about feedback on social media and reading it. Lead us out, Ross.
Well,
What do you mean
this
by it in the first place?
okay, so I'll just give you an example. This idiot coach, who shall remain nameless, posted something last night. It was like, um, if you want a big back, you got to deadlift a lot. I've never seen a guy with a small back and a big deadlift.
Fuck you, Ross. I just
No,
want
that's
to
your topic,
point it out
man.
here that I'm stronger than Ross in every humanly possible imaginable metric, and I weigh 64 pounds less than him. Just want to put it out there. Anyway, Ross, go ahead.
You're bragging about being stronger than me.
We've talked about this before. If a 405
No, I want to hear you. I want to hear you say that. You're bragging about being stronger than me because I will answer that question. Go ahead and say it.
if a 405-pound
No,
man
no.
decided
John,
to take a shit,
John, answer the question, then we'll target that.
I'll answer it after. I just need to say, this is a fact. If a 405-pound man decided to take a shit on Ross's chest, he would not be able to press him off because Ross has never put up 4 patties. Now I have, so I'm not getting shit on, and Ross absolutely would. That's
Two
my
things.
argument.
The fact that you are doomsday prepping for an obese man to potentially
Don't fear shame me.
That's
Do not
worse
fear
than
shame me.
accidentally cheating on your diet. You're in a position where you're accidentally underneath a grown 400-pound man shitting on your chest.
You're saying this until it happens to you, and then we'll see what happens because you're gonna get shit on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say if I'm worried about that, like if that's a constant fear, John, then I need to go see a doctor.
Well, I'm not in fear of it. I'm not in fear of it anymore because I've accomplished that.
Because you're preparing for it.
No, I've prepared.
That's like walking around with like a candle in my butt all the time for a fear of someone fucking me in the ass. It's not a rational fear.
Why don't you use a squat plug like everybody else?
Anyways, you're bragging about being stronger than me. I am so incredibly weak.
It's really sad, honestly.
I was trying to record it. I'll have to record next chest day. Chest day is such a joke. It's such a joke.
You don't have bad features. You're just like insane.
I'm like insanely weak. I don't know. I think it's been because I've trained a certain way for so long. I just don't have the muscle fibers firing.
No, you're one of those guys that responds to everything. Like any training stimulus, you're like sore horribly the next day. And you've always been that way, no matter the drugs, no matter the recovery, no matter the food intake. You're terribly sore no matter what you do. There's people out there like that. Usually it's only on one part though. Like they'll have their biceps are just like that or their quadriceps are like that or something. But it's for your whole fucking body is like that. That's why you're so weak. They're usually not super strong. Like my legs are kind of like that where I can train them, when I was competing, is like I'd train them once a month is all I had to do. And they would be fucking smoked every single time and they would just still grow no matter what. But every other part, absolutely not. For you, it's everything just seems to grow and you're super unimpressively weak. Anyway, tell me about social media.
I think I'm impressively weak. What are you talking about?
Impressively.
It's impressive how weak I am.
It really is.
It's like Lord Jones. Lord Jones?
Yeah.
And I think Bison Tries posted a picture, and I was being dead serious. I go, the most impressive part about Lord Jones's body is the fact that he has no calves. And people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, think about it. He has 0 calves.
Like Dennis Wolf.
Worse, like toothpicks. It's so impressive because his entire body is a fucking freakazoid.
Bubbles. Just bubbles. And then nothing.
And then nothing. Like this.
Yeah, his hamstring ends and it just goes straight to the fucking floor.
Like it's like.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's really bad. But you don't lose points.
It's impressive.
It's very impressive.
It's like you have someone with a really bad haircut. It's like, wow. Okay.
So what Ross is trying to talk about, that he get distracted by Lord Jones' calves. We're talking about social media feedback. And what that means is, I see it in all of my friends that run social media businesses, what Ross does, what I do. You're posting things and you may keep posting them, but do you look at where it goes? What happens with it? Is it getting you anywhere? Does anybody actually fucking care? Or is it your same 3 friends that are reposting, clicking, whatever on it. Ross, tell me your thoughts
On and exactly what?
on social media feedback. How do you read it? When you guys drop a product, how do you read that it popped off? How do you read that I'm never going to do this again? How do you read I'm going to pull this
Well,
sauce?
that's a little tricky because sometimes the algorithms and everything is not. It's not like a cut and dry thing.
I
Like
don't
I
believe
could
that,
post.
bro. I think the algorithm doesn't matter one fucking bit.
No, no, because I could post something really, really cool, and no one would like it. And
Give
then
me
I
an
can post
example.
something.
Give me an
I don't
example.
have an
I'll tell you
example.
why it flopped. No, tell me. I'm on your profile now. Give me an example of something you thought was going to do really well and it flopped.
No, I don't. I don't have an example. I'm just saying, like, um, it could happen,
It could happen. Interesting.
or some other pictures get more engagement, and you're like, how did this get? You send it to me all the time. Like, how did this get 5 million shares?
But I always know why.
No,
I'm
you
just
don't.
bragging. I always know why. For you, when your face isn't in it, and this is true for a lot of fucking businesses that are run by like a person. Think about Rich Payana, 5%. My friend Max has a business. He runs a jewelry thing. His face, if it's on it, it's big. Your shit. Let's look at your profile. All right, we got a video of Ross. He's eating the plain Jane thing. It's supposed to look like cum or something coming out of his mouth. 6,983 views on that bitch. And then we got this one with some guy that we don't know saying that the butcher sauce is gone. 1,000 views on that. Why?
Okay, that's
If
an
Ross,
algorithm.
no, if Ross's face was on this one, and it was you in a fucking tank top or whatever, or that stupid Where's Waldo or Steve from Blue's Clues looking shirt saying bye to the butcher sauce, this would have had 6,000 views.
John, that's an algorithm.
It's not an algorithm. That's a
Yes,
human choice.
no, it's not.
I promise you, it is.
It's a view. It's automatically doing it. You have to scroll. It's a view.
No, because they track everything. So they track, did they just scroll right by? So a view doesn't count if it just showed up in the algorithm. A view counts if they stop and watch a certain portion of it. So if it's a 10-second video, if they blip by a split second, that's not a view. If they watch, I think it's over half of the video, they watch 6 seconds, boom, you got a view. But if they didn't watch it at all, you don't have a view. So your shit is they scroll down, there's some old man in a fucking Blue's Clues shirt waving by, and there's butcher sauce in there. They don't fucking care. I didn't care. I follow your shit, I saw that, I didn't care, and I waved right on the fuck by. But if it was you doing it, I'm gonna watch because I'm waiting for what weird shit Ross is gonna do. Is he wearing booty shorts again? Is he gonna be pretending to eat cum like it's plain Jane? Is there something more going on to this? But I see this strange man, and I expect nothing out of him, and that's why that fucking... I did not prepare this. I randomly picked 2 fucking videos, and before I clicked on them, I knew one was gonna be a dud, and before I clicked on the other one, I knew it was gonna be good because of how your shit works and how your face has an impact on the shit that your social media does.
Okay, fine. Let's find another example. Find one of yours. Find one of yours with no face.
Find one of mine with no face. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You just shared it with me. It had like 1,000 shares.
Oh, okay. Which one? Oh, you mean like the text posts?
Yes.
Text posts are extraordinarily deep right now on Instagram for some reason. Like when you have a scroller with information that's super basic that everybody knows. Those are like magic bullets into coaching stratosphere. Photos of your physique, nobody gives a fuck.
That is my point.
Explain.
Those are the algorithm set up. So the reason why, listen to me. No, you don't understand this. The reason why the one with no facial recognition didn't get as many views is because it didn't fit the algorithm.
No, it's because nobody cared. Nobody cared. Like I have some posts, they get shared pretty good. But it's me standing there. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that. Because I don't ever do anything funny in a video when the camera starts to roll.
John,
if anybody's
John,
watched
John,
your
John.
shit,
Listen to me.
everybody's going to disagree with you.
You don't understand how algorithms work, okay? So if you have...
Tell me how the algorithm works.
If you have 5,000 followers, okay, not all 5,000 followers are going to see your posts. That's a fact, okay? Because I don't see all of my people's followers. I see a select number of people, okay? If that person posts something that fits the algorithm that the Instagram wants, it is more likely to appear on my feed. Now, to your point, probably the algorithm likes the facial recognition versus some inanimate object feature.
This is retarded. I'm gonna stop
That
you
is
right there.
true.
This makes no sense at all.
What are you talking about?
Most of the things I post, it gets everybody that's following me for at least 2/3, and then there's that stratosphere that people did shares to and sent to and whatever. But it's only showing the shit to people that are following you. So it's like handing off a fucking football, and then what do they do with it? So if it wasn't worth sharing, if it wasn't worth sending to somebody else, if it wasn't worth leaving a comment or liking, then you're burying yourself. It doesn't matter that it's a face. It doesn't matter that it's a fucking.
That is the algorithm.
No, the algorithm is
It
based
has to
on interaction.
populate. It has to populate into the feed.
We'll just agree that Ross has no idea what he's talking about and move on from this. We'll talk about quality versus quantity of your following. Um, there's so many accounts out there, and we can flip back to the fat chick accounts and the fat positive accounts and the pro obesity accounts where they'll have like 400,000 fucking followers and they still have a real job. And it's because their followers are not people that are buying stuff or people that are gainfully employed or successful people that want to better themselves and purchase something. They are a misery loves company group that are looking for an excuse to sit on their couch and eat Cheetos today. Guys like me and Ross, and I know some coaches that have 1,000 followers and they have 100 clients because they're shooting bullets right at the people that they want to fucking hire them for. So quality versus quantity thing. If you are a coach right now and you're thinking about getting on TikTok because you see, oh, what was that guy, Cassim or whatever we know him, and Cop, and he's like, oh, I had 1 million views on my video. That doesn't mean anything on TikTok. That means that 1 million 12-year-olds have now seen your strange video and you got paid $0 for it. None of them are going to buy anything from you. It doesn't mean anything.
Dude, can I pause this real quick? I fell for this so hard when I was and I opened up my first LLC for in-home training. I got bamboozled by Yelp, and I sat down.
They bad reviews. You can take them down.
No,
hey.
no. It was
Oh.
This was, and I was in Maryland. I had my in-home training business, and they called me and they were like, "Oh, we can get you, 50,000 views on your profile, or 50,000 impressions in a month." I'm like, "Great! I'm going to make it commercial and sell my shit." I got 50,000 impressions from no one. There was no one.
Yeah.
There's nobody there. Like, oh, here's your impressions. They never converted because they weren't like either they were out of state. Or they weren't real people, or
the impressions matter, and I mean 50,000 impressions is not a lot though. That's like for a 30-day cycle on mine. I have over 1 million impressions that it made on what I don't know what an impression. What does an impression mean?
Right. What does that fucking mean?
Maybe the opportunity to look at something. I don't know, and they just pass on it. But most people just pass on it. You get 1 million, and I have probably 5,000 people that actually look out of 1 million. That's not a lot. Or maybe 20,000 that actually look. That's not a ton. But yeah, you're right. It's like, well, what are the quality of these people is what you always have to ask. There's a lot of things you can do on the internet to get a lot of people to look at you. Is it going to translate into money if you're running a coaching business? Is it going to translate into money if you're running a food prep industry or whatever? Like, probably not always. Especially if you're going to jump the boat and go to TikTok. Especially if you're going to start making videos. There's a guy, he's a pro. I can't remember his name. But he went to TikTok. He sells a pre-workout and he does like TikTok dancing videos. He's a pro. I can't remember his name. Does like a Hulk Hogan thing.
Seth Shaw.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'd love to see his numbers on if TikTok's helping him. Like, I hope he's selling a lot of stuff, but I can't imagine that there's a big conversion of TikTok people to, to a person.
Monetary.
Yeah. Like, does it monetize? What does it cost you to monetize? What's the actual? Could you do this a better way?
Yeah, and especially if you're making dance videos, like how does that translate to supplement sales?
Yeah, and I mean, I have no marketing budget for my shit. I've never spent $1 on marketing. Like the marketing is all building the actual network. I only have 3,000 followers on this account. My last one had like 8 before it was eaten in whole. It was eaten alive. They ate it. They ate every square inch of it. But, even at that, I've always had a pretty good client load because the people that look at my shit are very, very, very likely to buy something at some point. Most of the people... Yeah. Just go ahead.
Well, no, it's because it's like... I feel like there are two different influencers types. There's some that are like uber successful, like uber up there, hundreds of thousands of followers. And then you have these smaller accounts, like say you, that directly influence people.
Yeah.
It may not be 100,000, but it could be like fucking 50 that day.
Well,
And that has
your conversion's a lot tighter too. We were talking about me and you, Russ, the other day. That thing I pay for.
oh yeah, I love it.
Instagram Health is what it's called. But you can go and you can look at
It's
how
so
many fucking
fucked up.
followers a person has and what their actual engagement to that is, and you will be absolutely surprised.
So John put in a couple of names, and I asked him to do a couple of names, and it was like people that had hundreds of thousand followers, and they would have 0.0% engagement.
No, there were 2 or 3 zeros there, like less than a percent of engagement, and that's horrible. Like if you have 10,000 followers and you have 10% engagement, that means only 1,000 of them are fucking with you on the regular. You would be surprised at how often it is way less than 10%. Is a crazy good number on that shit. Like to get 10% is like crazy. I think mine was at 12 for a good bit of time. I don't know what it is now. I haven't checked on it, so I don't want to say anything. But it was like 12 for the first like month I had this new account, and most people are like way under 1 or 2, and they'll have 40, 50, 60,000 followers, but they're running the same metrics as the small account of some coach that you probably never heard of that has people that are actually buying his shit, engaging with his shit, looking at his stuff, sharing it to their friends, sharing it to their clients, all that shit. So that number means nothing.
Nothing.
You're not doing anything with it. It means nothing at all if you don't know how to turn it into a fucking paycheck. It's stupid. I don't understand. Why do people buy followers? What's the fucking point?
I don't know, and it's so clear and obvious. Like there's some local people here that buy followers. I'm like, why the fuck would 50,000 people be following you? Like why? You don't do anything.
Russ, we didn't even prepare for this, but tell me the 2 things you notice. I'm going to tell you a story. A story that you hear all the time. Guy gets in your inbox. Hey, my coach, I don't really trust him. I don't really think he knows what's going on. Can you help me? And you say, oh, who's the coach? And he sends you a link to his Instagram. He doesn't say his name. He sends you a link to his Instagram. 2 things you notice about the profile right away are...
I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
What do you notice about all the coaches that don't fucking do nothing and have the brain dead people just come into their fucking grips? We talked about it on a podcast before. We were talking about one right now. Huge follower count. They're always like rocking 80,000 followers, and then all their photos are what?
I don't know.
Of themselves.
Oh, yes. There's no right. There's no product.
Doesn't this happen to you all the time?
Yeah.
You're a kid, and you're like, I'm always like, why did you hire him? And they always say the same thing. He had a lot of followers and he looks pretty good, so I thought it was all right.
Or it's just the bio. Posing coach, prep coach. Okay, great. Show me who are you posing.
Yeah, how did
you prepping?
I'm always like, how did you know he, does this?
Dude, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of these I know personally, and they literally only go after this population because that's the only people that they can get, because people that know the shit know that they're going to get bullshitted. Their only clientele are the people that have no idea what they're doing. Like,
yeah, and they filter.
First time.
Do you know what reminds me of?
What?
So, have you ever gotten the Nigerian scammer email?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you noticed how many typos are in it?
Oh, they're all typos.
Do you know why there are typos in it?
Probably because they just type as fast as possible and they don't know how to speak English.
We would be stupid to think that these people running these $100,000 scams to millions of...
they're attracting the stupid people.
Exactly. It's a filter. If they send you an email and it's laden with typos and everything's fucked up and you reply with urgency, they've filtered out the smart person. The only people that are going to fall into this trap are already stupid to begin with. It's kind of brilliant if you think about it. They're doing it on purpose. Those typos... We would be stupid to think they've been doing this for 30 years and you haven't figured out how to spell cum come over is not cum over. Like, come on, somebody who's dumb is gonna look at that and not notice. That's who they want. So what you're describing is the net that these fuckers are laying is the Nigerian scammer net. They're making it look fucked up to begin with, and you're opening your wallet and saying, "Yeah, me too. I'm good. Let's do it." And they figure it out eventually on a long enough timeline.
It's the same people that sell like these supplement pyramid schemes, like some bogus company that no one ever heard of, and they're like, "Oh, I use this to get my abs in check or abs in tone," and then some middle-aged desperate female sees it, and they buy it, and they're like, "Oh yeah."
Is that what they say when they buy it?
Dude, yeah, we had a lot of conflicts internally. So at the bakery, we sell some supplements, and there's supplements that I recommend. I have my clients take. I take personally.
Like a pro, right?
Yeah, like a pro. Some Project AD stuff, some fat burners, and we'd have women go in there, have no idea what they're doing. They don't eat anything. They don't follow. They fast all day, drink coffee with sugar. And they're like, "I want these fat burners." For the longest time, we were felt in like, if we say no, you don't need these, then these people get offended. They give us a poor review, like this one in particular. These Gaines Bakery claimed that they want to help everyone, but I went in there and they didn't help me. Rude.
How did they not help you? They didn't sell them a fat burner? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Like, you don't need the fat burner, honey. You have never even been on a treadmill. Like, what are you talking about?
I made a post about this the other day. On a long enough timeline, you figure out who was the asshole and who was telling you the truth.
Oh, yeah.
And she's probably mad now, and maybe she'll die thinking you were the asshole, but maybe there will be a period of time where she starts moving a little more, eating a little less, and realizes, wow, Ross Flanagan had the opportunity to take $60 of mine every single month indefinitely, and he didn't do it. What a good guy. But it'll never happen. I don't think the timeline's long enough for this woman.
Yeah.
We need a real long one, and she probably doesn't have a lot. Jesus Christ. All right, Ross, any interesting stories from the week? Any curiosities? Anything that's going to make people say, wow?
Interesting stories.
I
I'll just deal with it. No, I'll fill in the time, and then you can leave with a banger. Interesting stories. No, I don't know. All the shit I deal with on a daily basis, I rant about it and then exits my brain. Oh, did I tell you about Kuwait, the Kuwaitis and everything?
Yeah, they're trying to get that game. There's some guy buying giant orders and
Yeah, so I've noticed, like, I was expressing this to my team, like, I'm getting sketched out by how many orders there are under Middle Eastern names. It's like an odd amount. Okay. Hundreds of orders from Middle Eastern names. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is like 2 months ago. And then all of a sudden, this name on Friday drops and buys 70 bags of cereal. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. So then we did some, research, and apparently there's these Middle Easterns in like Kuwait or in UAE and Dubai that are using these parcel pickups. Have you heard of these things?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And it's cool. They're buying a fuckload for their family and friends and just sending it back home. It's just a weird. It was so weird, but
that's a common thing for that, to like buy something and ship it.
Yeah.
I lived above these kids. There were 4 of them from Saudi Arabia, and they were all like absolutely loaded and super cool kids. They would like have me over for dinner all the time. They were like cool. The one bought a motorcycle off of me for like no reason. I wasn't even selling it, and he was like, "How much for your motorcycle?" And I told him this crazy number, and he was like, "Yeah, sure." And he came by the next day with an envelope full of cash. Never registered the fucking bike. Got arrested on it multiple times, and I had to go and get it out of impound for him. He was my friend, so it was cool. Anyway, one day they asked me, "Hey, can you go to this GMC dealership with us?" We went because their English was like good, but like wasn't flawless. Like we want somebody there to kind of grease the wheels. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why?" And they're like, They were buying like 3 Yukons. Is that a GNC? The big truck? Yukon
GNC,
truck?
yeah.
They were buying 3 Yukons in white to ship them back home, because apparently a white Yukon in Saudi Arabia is like crazy cost versus what it is here to just export it. So like you buy it here and you send it over there. If you buy a black one, over there. It's cheap because how the heat, I guess. A black car is not desirable.
Oh,
How hot you would be. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that was what they said. They're like, we need 3 white Yukons, and we had to find a dealership within the Pittsburgh area that had 3 white Yukons ready to go. And we went and they, bought them, wired money. It was crazy. I was like, all right, fucking lunatics. They were cool kids though. The one guy, his name is Ferris. I still have him added as a Snapchat friend. This is probably 10 years ago. And he always told me like his dad was like some crazy prince type of thing or something. And I was like, oh, cool, like whatever. I didn't believe it. But he goes home, and I still follow him on Snapchat, and I look at his Snapchat story. The motherfucker has a tiger. I'm not even making this up. He has a tiger. This giant elaborate house. They're always having these crazy parties, doing whatever. And there's a fucking tiger on his Snapchat story, jumping on his friend's car, whatever, going back and forth. I was like, wow, Ferris wasn't full of shit. And I believe it, because the dude just spent money like it was water and didn't care about anything. Yeah, they bought 3 Yukons and shipped them. I should have believed that he was loaded, honestly. I should have believed it a lot sooner. But anyway. All right, Ross.
Finish your, tell me the story.
You want to hear my story? It actually is related to wildlife, so I'll tell it. I'll tell it. So, a couple years ago, I lived in Pittsburgh. There's this place called Three Rivers Dental, and I had I thought I had cavities. I had pain in my tooth. And
probably did. You eat chicken nuggets for breakfast.
This is
you literally sent me a picture: chicken nuggets and Mountain Dew for breakfast. As a grown man, 31 years old, chicken nuggets and
stronger than Ross Flanagan. Just want to put that out there. Chicken nugget diet. Anyway, so they tell me all this crazy shit. They're like, you need, I forget what it was, but like, you need crowns, you need this, you need that. And I was like, all right. And I didn't have any money at the time, so they had this financing thing. And so I come on, Scarfy. I put it down. So I did like their financing agreement, and borrowed the money, but didn't have the procedure yet. So it was like a line of credit that they extend to you. And so it didn't sit right with me. There was another dentist that I knew. I was going back home in a little bit, so I went to the other dentist, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And their second opinion was, you have 2 cavities on this side. You don't need crowns. You don't need whatever the fuck it was. Fill the cavities. And so I had them do it, and everything was fine. And so I called the other place, and I was like, hey, I opened that line of credit. I don't need to do it anymore. I just need a refund from that and whatever. And they're like, they give me all this shit about it. They're like super crazy. And they say, okay, we can give you a refund, but you have to sign this contract. And I have a law degree, so I read these fucking contracts. And it's very weird to sign a contract for a refund. It's very strange. And so they send me the contract. I have it here somewhere. I can still find it. And it says that should I leave a negative review anywhere on, and it listed all these social media places, that I would be charged, and it was like $1,000 or $1,500. Should I leave a negative review about Three Rivers Dental? And I was like, I'm not signing this. You're giving me my fucking money back, and I will send this contract to every fucking news station in the next 5 minutes if you don't give me my money back. I get a call from the crazy owner. He's a fucking lunatic. There's something wrong with this guy. I'm arguing with him, telling him to go fuck himself. He's telling me to go fuck myself. Eventually, they give me my money back because I was just a pain in their ass. And I was like, I'm going to send this to every fucking local news network. They will love shitting on you. This contract's super weird. I'm sure there's something illegal that you're doing here. Like, do you want to play this game? And so they, whatever. I didn't spend any money there. I borrowed, I used their line of credit. Like, just give me the fucking thing back. So they did. I never had a procedure, right? I paid for my fucking, whatever the diagnosis. It was like $50 or $100. I paid that. So anyway, I've forgotten about that. I left a bad review on their shit. I was like, fuck you. I'm actually leaving a bad review now. Charge me. I didn't sign your fucking contract. And that was that. And they replied to my review that I'd never been a patient there and they didn't know who I was, whatever. So, fast forward to November 2021. I am sent a news article by a friend that knows the situation with Three Rivers Dental, where the owner that I had talked to on the phone and motherfucked apparently took his wife on a hunt in Africa, shot her in the stomach, had her body immediately cremated, covered up all of the fucking evidence, and had gotten away with it until November of 2021, where they arrested him in the United States of America. Apparently, he told the people, whoever was investigating in Africa, that she was putting the gun away after a hunt and it was loaded and she didn't know and she accidentally shot herself in the stomach. This is like a fucking, a bull, like a fucking elephant gun. Some
long
crazy
barrel rifle.
Exploded her insides. You would, physically she wouldn't be able to do it. She'd have to be putting her toe in it all fucking.
Yeah, just a 3-foot arm with a 5-foot gun.
Yeah, it's just not possible. And so I guess he immediately had her cremated. But before she was cremated, an investigator went down to the morgue or the wherever cremation place and took photos of the body and the wounds and stuff, and then confiscated the gun and all this. And they were building this case for a while, and finally got the authorization to get the warrants and whatever they needed to do. And now he's in jail for homicide. What a crazy story, huh?
She probably left a poor review.
I was like, damn. I talked to that crazy son of a bitch. And when I talked to him, he definitely had already killed her, because I think it was in 2016. Oh, he also... He had a $5 million life insurance policy out on this girl, too. So it was even more strange. He went on a wild hunt in Africa. She doesn't come back. He's filing for life insurance. Yeah, he got a couple million out of it. You're a fucking crazy guy. Crazy guy. He didn't want to give me my $950 back, but Jesus. Piece of shit. So yeah, he's gonna rot, I guess. And his poor wife, I feel bad for that woman. She got killed by definitely a monster. Definitely a monster. But yeah, guys, Three Rivers Dental, if you're in the Pittsburgh area and you're looking for any sort of dental anything, I would absolutely never go there, because it was started by a fucking psychopath. Sue me.
It's probably gone now.
Oh no, it exists. I actually left a review the other day, after the fact. I was like,
no way.
Wait, let me see my review. I was like, owner's kind of weird. He invited me on a trip to Africa. I had a strange feeling and I didn't go. Oh, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. But you guys can Google it, Three Rivers Dental, Africa, murder, and I'm sure it'll come up. Anyway, my dog's super excited and running around now, so that's gonna be time. Ross, it's been real. Everybody, thanks for listening to our bullshit. We will have another episode filming, this Monday, Ross?
I can, Wednesdays are better, but Monday I can do Monday.
All right, it sounds like...
Along with all the fucking appointments.
All the fucking appointments. All right, guys.
Appointments where you look at half-naked men. Just want to let everyone know that.
That's your appointment?
No, that's your appointments.
I don't have any.
That's why you couldn't do Monday or Tuesday.
It's a posing session, Ross. It's very nuanced.
Just like it was just a trip to Africa, yeah.
Fuck you. All right, guys. We'll catch you around.